Hey there, it's Susan Pierce Thompson, and welcome to the weekly vlog. So, as the new year was turning over into 2022, I was online reading blah, 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 whatever I was reading, and some prompt came from the New York Times asking me if I wanted to know what the most read articles were of 2021. And I did. So I clicked on that, and the number one most read, shared, commented on, liked article in the New York Times in 2021 was an article by a guy named Adam Grant. If you don't know him, he's a professor at Wharton. I think he was the youngest tenured professor ever at Wharton, which is a business school. But he's a business psychologist. And he's the best-selling author of a bunch of books. I think his first one was Give and Take, and then Originals, and then Think Again. Really good books. They're very interesting. Right up my alley. It's all psychology, really interesting stuff. And this op-ed was called, "There's a Name for the Blah You're Feeling. It's Called Languishing." And I was like, and I read this article, and it was so soothing to my soul because I'm languishing. I noticed that I hadn't been writing down my food for a long stretch of time, which I can do. I can get away with that for sure. And I was bright, but I wasn't writing down my food. And I was having some maintenance weight creep from eating out too much and making heavy choices. And so when the new year came around, I really wanted to get a buddy, start writing down my food again, and tighten everything up and shave a few things out of my food plan and get my weight back and, closer to where I like it. And January 1st came and I hadn't done it yet. I did scramble on January 1st, got my act together, wrote my food down that night for January 2nd. But I just want to say that's really not like me. If you haven't kind of gotten the memo yet, I'm a pretty ambitious gal, and I get stuff done. So it was really weird that I kind of just let the January 1st milestone kind of come and go, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. I'll get to it, and I just didn't. Anyway, I read this article. It was very soothing. And I wanted to offer it to you because I think that even if you're not depressed, there can be quite a gap between depression and flourishing, right? And stuck somewhere in the middle is this thing called languishing, which is the absence of well-being, not depression, but languishing, the absence of well-being, where motivation is down, focus is down, And what's interesting is psychologists are starting to study languishing, and it turns out that what's more predictive of depression and anxiety in the future is not depression and anxiety today, but languishing today. Languishing. It's so interesting. Yeah, it's not burnout, it's not depression, but it's not flourishing either. And what I want to offer, in case this resonates with you, is a few things that I think can help if you're in that state. And this isn't going to be a pep talk. No, this is not going to be a pep talk. It's name it and claim it, So maybe when someone who's actually a friend says, "How are you?" Don't say fine. Say, "Actually, I think I'm languishing." Just kind of the. There can be so much grace that comes into that space when we just make space for what's true and what is. Self-compassion. And knowing this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It's been a hard couple years across the board, and there's so much extra stress and trauma flying around. It's unreal. Still, still, God bless us all, just doing the best we can, with wildly different perspectives on things and just doing the best we can. Another thing that might help is keeping in mind flow activities. And Adam Grant mentioned this in his article. Flow was studied by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi at a university down in Southern California somewhere. I think Claremont McKenna maybe. He's the world's expert in flow. And flow is the state of engagement when your level of skill is met by a challenging activity. And if your level of skill is low, maybe the activity's not that challenging, right? But you can get into a state of flow. And it could be dinner party conversation that does it, or painting, or playing basketball, or crocheting, or, beware of junk flow activities like binge watching shows on TV. That engages you, but it leaves you feeling yucky instead of invigorated. Real flow activities leave you feeling invigorated. And you're in flow when your sense of self and time and place disappears. You're truly, completely absorbed in what you're doing. I get it when I'm shooting vlogs. I get it when I'm public speaking. I get it when I'm coaching people. Those are some of the best activities in the world for me. And I know that public speaking is not everyone's cup of tea, but it's mine. And when I get on stage and I'm communicating, teaching, I go straight into a state of flow. My self-consciousness drops away and I'm just in the moment. But you can get it again through, knitting, or, whatever, reading a good novel. And I think that there can be a nice match of, chopping vegetables, right? Like, seriously, doing food prep can be a flow state activity. And what I love about that one is it's also deep self-care, right? Getting your food ready for the day, for the week, for the next few days. It's a deeply, deeply self-caring endeavor. But what I was going to say is I think there can be a real match between calming, nurturing, kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say loafing, but just kind of like, like good, lazy weekend activities and flow state activities. And, for someone who's languishing, I think that can be a real gift. I've read 3 or 4 novels lately. Not something I normally have time for, but I've just been lying around reading novels. It's been really good for me. Really good. Yeah. I think another thing that can help with languishing is just a little bit of a micro goal, like maybe consider again printing out a calendar and ticking off bright days, or, days that you meditate for 10 minutes. If you're in the membership and you haven't listened to Monique Rhodes's meditations for a while, just maybe print off a calendar and tick off each day that you do that. Her voice is so soothing. And the Bright Line Eating Mindfulness Meditation course is just so gorgeous. Just a nice, gentle activity like that. I think the main thing is name it, claim it, own it, don't shame it, and just let it be. It will pass. It will pass. And I don't know if you're languishing. Maybe you're flourishing. Maybe you're doing awesome. But boy, that resonated with me. And I'm guessing, since it was the most read article of 2021, it's resonated with some other people. There's a name for that. There's, what was it called? Anyway, there's a name for that blah you're feeling. It's called languishing. Languishing. So just sending you love through the ether, whether you're languishing or not. Easy does it. Lots of love. That's the weekly vlog. I'll see you next week.